But
Well, in terms of the box and everything, I think what's interesting is like the first half is pretty much the basic story that we have for
yeah,
the original, and then it
yeah,
just goes off the rail. And really, like, I mean, I felt like it was really effective up to that point, and I really didn't understand. Except the only thing I could think of is that like they felt the need to like do some kind of sci-fi explanation of things, and this
mm,
gets into that thing we talk about so often, like that a lot of what makes horror or sci-fi effective is what you don't show, and
mm,
to spell things out, it's kind of fine to a degree, or like kind of maybe it satisfies some things, but
mm,
it kind of like, I don't know, I felt like it kind of really diminishes a lot of things. And then of course, like, major spoiler alert, like, ending it like kind of that here, we're set up with a family that like we really get to like, we really get to root for them and stuff,
mm,
and then and then we see things along the way that shows that like maybe there is something, some kind of redemption coming and stuff,
mm.
and that felt like kind of where things were going, but then all of a sudden it just goes off the rail, you know.
Yeah. I mean, he tried to kind of pull it back to the original short story a little bit by making it again this kind of tension between the couple, but in this one, this is the one of the things that we kind of talked about. I can't remember which article it was where they talked about how a lot of sci-fi is all
Mm-hmm.
about kind of watching the world burn in various
Mm-hmm.
different ways, even if
Mm-hmm.
it's a utopia. And again, this is
Mm-hmm.
what he does, is he takes this rather small encapsulated story and makes it into like an Armageddon situation, like the fate of the entire of
Mm-hmm.
humanity relies on everyone doing the
Yeah.
button test correctly.
Yeah.
And so, and then it kind of gets into conspiratorial territory with the NSA and everything else.
Mm.
So, I mean, I understand kind of like why he went that route, because there is something very intrinsically interesting about the whole technology of the box,
Sure.
or who this mysterious man could be. And he
Right.
tried to kind of expand on that, but unfortunately, he just did it in a kind of a very vague, disjointed, conspiratorial Mars landing kind of thing. It just, it's kind of, it pulled stuff from lots of different directions.
Mm.
Like, what, do we have free will or not?
Mm.
Was Jesus testing us, or was he not? Was, are we part of a big game and a test? It's some sort of simulation theory.
Right.
It kind of just threw every which thing into the pot and stirred it around, and then you got,
Yeah. I think that's, what we just said really kind of just that says it all, like why it really doesn't work, because as much as we like having different combinations of these stories, right, and stuff, what makes things more effective is having some kind of clarity through like kind of the mixing of genres, or through like something that we haven't we probably won't talk about anytime too stuff is like the South Korean kind of horror at different times, mixes like different combinations of comedy with horror or drama, and in that mixture there's this kind of clarity of what the story is really about. And
mm,
here with the box, it's like this mismatch that then it just seems even more convoluted by the time at the end of it. I mean, I watched this movie years ago, and
mm,
I didn't remember any of this. Kind of like I think
yeah,
I just blocked it out. Kind of because I think it felt like like kind of like your brain was just basically like kind of just zapping, like kind of like short circuiting on like what the hell is really going on, like kind of.
yeah. I think for me, I had no idea that the box was based on Button when I
Okay.
saw it, and I actually bought the movie because I thought the first hour was so good, and it is really good actually. It is
Yeah.
retelling of Button, and a lot of reviews where they didn't know the connection, they've said, oh,
Mm.
the first hour is like really good, and then it all kind of goes a bit crazy after that, and it's understandable when you watch it. So yeah, I mean, it's there's a bit where he's talking, and you're right. There's too much exposition by Frank Langella's
Mm.
character Stewart, because there's, he's there half an hour before the film even finishes. He says, "Yeah, this is basically like a big test. I'm kind of like a Martian
Mm.
intelligence sort of thing, and I'm just testing you all." And then they say, well, who are your employers? And he goes, well, I can't tell you that. It's a mystery. He said, don't you like mysteries? It's like, not enough to not have that, just not explained properly in this movie. And also there's the bit at the end where it's just like, well, we live in boxes, we die in a box, we watch a box, everything's a box. It's
right.
kind of, well, all right,
we get it.
But, yeah, we get it, but
right. Showing the other couple getting the box and stuff like that, there was a twist that, like, that led to her death and stuff. It's almost like kind of that the power of that was like kind of lost by the fact that, like, all this other stuff was happening in between,
Yeah, and you didn't really know, like, why was the NSA just letting this guy go around randomly kill people? And yeah, it just, and then the whole 3 choices with the water that was kind of floating around. It was, okay, they got internal damnation, but like, and then they had purgatory, like, this is purgatory and shit, the afterlife.
Right.
Like, why do we need all that in this movie? It's way too much more than we needed to tell the story.
Visually, it was interesting to kind of see, like, all these people, and it really does smack of, like, a future episode coming up of Invasion Body Snatchers, where, like, all the people were, like, looking at them. That was creepy, and certainly lent the horror element and stuff. You had all this stuff kind of going towards, like, the choices and stuff like that, but then, like, it just, like, there was, like, a lot of stuff, like, a lot of, like, kind of, like, going in this direction stuff, but then, like, it's sometimes, like, we're with Lost and some of the J.J. Abrams projects where, like, you have all this build up for the mystery, and then
it's
okay, we're here. What's going on? Like, kind of, what is this now? Like, where are we?
Yeah.
And then, funny connection, right? Like, where, in the end, like, apparently the whole series, major spoiler alert if you haven't watched the Lost series, this is all purgatory.
Yeah. Again.
Okay. and yeah, I guess now that I think about it, I'm trying to remember the timing of it. Was this after Lost finished, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Must have been after
So,
Lost finished.
I don't know, maybe took cues or borrowed some of J.J. Abrams' notes, I guess, or something.
I mean, J.J. Abrams is famous for his famous quote is, "You want to create a mystery box that people want to try and like." Richard Kelly basically did that as much as he possibly could in this movie.
Right.
He just did exactly what J.J. said.
He had lots of boxes. Here's a box. There's a box. Everywhere there's a box. Even the choice of the water was like these 3 boxes, right? So
exactly, yeah.